My Nuffield Farming Scholarship was born out of frustration that typically in the UK, dairy farmers and environmental organisations struggle to work together to achieve sustainable food security and combat climate change. With thanks to my sponsor, the Agriculture and Horticulture Development Board, the AHDB, I've travelled to Denmark, Sweden, the Netherlands and Wisconsin in the USA to find examples of where the two communities do work together with the intention of sealing with pride and bringing key lessons back to the UK. It was during my travels to Denmark and Sweden that I gained an appreciation of the impact that cultural heritage can have on the relationship between dairy farmers and environmental organisations. As a contact I met in Denmark put it, Scandinavian culture has been founded by the Vikings, whereas in his words, the UK's culture is founded by Downton Abbey, the haves and the have-nots. Could it be that environmental organisations look at dairy farmers as the landed gentry, a community of people that inherit land regardless of merit, while they have to fundraise furiously to buy scraps of wildlife-rich land as and when they come on the market? During my travels to the Netherlands, I gained an appreciation of the impact that economic heritage can have on the relationship between dairy farmers and environmental organisations. Many of today's intensive agricultural practices in the UK can trace their roots back to the Second World War, when farmers were encouraged to increase food production in order to deal with mass food shortages. That was often done at the expense of the natural environment. For example, since the 1940s, the UK has lost over 97% of its wildlife meadows. My travel to all 4 countries really highlighted the importance of political landscapes on the relationship between the two communities. Does UK agricultural policy reward and empower dairy farmers to do right by the environment, as I saw in Sweden and in Wisconsin in the USA? Or does it penalise them for doing wrong by the environment, as I felt it did in Denmark and the Netherlands? It's not so much the policies themselves that had the impact, it's more the way they frame the dairy industry to other communities, including the environmental sector. Policies that reward farmers for doing right by the environment frame them as part of the solution to the climate crisis, whereas those that penalise them make the dairy industry look like they can only ever be part of the problem. I finished my Nuffield Farming Scholarship full of hope. In all 4 countries, I witnessed some fantastic examples where dairy farmers working alongside environmental organisations, in spite of the challenges that some of those 3 key influencers would have. The key ingredient was the people. If you have an inspiring leader who believes in the art of the possible, who can bring people from both communities together to respectfully listen to one another without judgment and with an open mind to find that piece of common ground, dairy farmers and environmental organisations can work together to achieve sustainable food security and combat climate change.